So I just had a couple of thoughts I wanted to add as I was walking yesterday. Hmm. Oh yes. A couple of days ago, I think I was talking about that I had this kind of spill of sadness that was something familiar to me that I used to feel a lot, now less, but and I kind of try not to take it as mine. It's almost like, I don't identify with it as much as I used to, perhaps, and that obviously makes it easier. And then the next day came, and I was feeling much better. So this feeling of very profound loneliness and just a sadness, but almost like a chemical, biological sadness. Like my entire body felt sad and low in energy, and but I didn't want to give up to that. So, and then next day, and I feel fine. and yesterday, and yesterday, as I was walking the streets of Paris for something that I hope that I for something that I thought to be my last day in Paris. I mean, I'm still here. I'm still in the banlieue, but I was gonna spend this day inside doing stuff, but I might have to pop out for something, and that kind of ruins the whole plan. But never mind. So, so as I was walking yesterday and really kind of feeling, okay, it's my last day, and I really want to enjoy it, and it was so beautiful. It was sunny, unfortunately, but it was sunny, and the sun was going down, and this beautiful warm light was enveloping everything, and I kind of wandered into Louvre, where there are the glass pyramids and the fountain, and where people, tourists take their typical tourist pictures. And I had ice cream, which of course I shouldn't be having, uh, not because I'm fat, but because I'm very sensitive to dairy and things like that. So whenever I have something like that, I suffer in ways. I, now, don't worry, this is not the time to describe the nature of sufferings, but it's not that bad, okay? But it is slightly inconvenient. I have to be like aware of what I'm doing, and I have to be careful and basically watch myself, because there are moments when I, anyway, that's not about fucking uh, nutrition here, and my food sensitivity. So, but in a way, it's interesting, because then, so I had this ice cream which was delicious, and as soon as I left the ice cream place, and I guess I also kind of I let myself a little bit enjoy now, because I'm gonna try to quit sugar for some time, because I think sugar is evil and it's the root of all my problems. So so I'm gonna try to quit it for some time, and I'm kind of like just making sure I stuff myself with everything dirty before that, so I don't miss any of that. Like, I'm just gonna make myself disgusted with that, so it's gonna be easier to put it off. It's not how it works, but I'm gonna tell myself. Of course, I'm joking. I'm not gonna go to the like limits of disgust. Like, I've done that before, and that just doesn't. It's it's not a good idea to go to this kind of extremes. So I had my ice cream, my delicious ice cream that started melting as soon as I left the ice cream place, and that was one of the saddest views in the first world in the first world problems, uh, you know, um, kind of scale. Um, yeah, that's a real first world problem. This is really fucking dramatic when your ice cream is melting and it's delicious ice cream, and you can't sit down. Your both hands are covered in ice cream. You try to keep class and keep your head up high and walk like you mean it, and you're just covered in ice cream, and your both hands are in ice cream, and it's dripping all over your black dress, so it looks like you're covered with some suspicious white substance, and people give you strange looks as you're trying to lick the cone from different sides, and it's just like it's and then you decide to go for like the busiest place where all the tourists are and all the people are, and you just with your ice cream struggling against the sun and temperature and self you know and yeah, like you're losing self-respect and everything. So as I finish with my ice cream far too quickly, because of course you don't have time to enjoy any of that once the disaster strikes. So I sat down in the middle of this Louvre place, right? And suddenly I was just so fucking happy. and, and and I was thinking like, wow, this is perfect. Everything is perfect. It's just perfect. It's so beautiful. Everything is beautiful. And there were even kids running around, and I everybody who knows me knows that I'm not exactly a big a big kind of kid person, and I was thinking like, oh, these are some cute kids. And then there was a couple, and I'm thinking like, oh, they're very sweet. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is this is wrong. This is not me. No, just kidding. Of course it's me. I am known for being capable of you know, appreciating the simplest things in life. Now I am very confused because I have a ring and I don't know if it's the right size or not. It's so annoying. Because, you know, when you have a lot of rings and your fingers change size because of, you know, depending on the weather, and one day they're swollen and another day they're not, and then the whole system of which rings you put on which fingers, it changes the entire, you know, delicate structure of your ring setup. And now I'm thinking like, this is slightly moving, this is not good, this is making me, this is now, oh no, am I gonna lose this ring? But that means that this one is, okay. You see, this is very complicated. It really depends on the weather, and it's really quite a commitment to wear such an amount of rings. It's probably one of the last addictions that I have. It will be rings, skulls, and books. Anyway, I was talking about Louvre and how happy I was there, and I was just, it made me wonder, you know. Of course, like I thought, like, okay, maybe I just have a sugar rush, and that's why, you know. But sugar doesn't really always work this way with me, and you know, kind of, you can feel like, okay, if you eat something nice, it kind of makes you feel nice, but not to this kind of deep extent which I felt then, which was just like, you know, the universe is a perfect place, basically. I exaggerate slightly, but still, it was a really profoundly happy experience, and you know, ice cream, really, that's all it takes. Like, what do maybe they added something else to this ice cream. Maybe it's not about sugar, but it was interesting. And then I thought like, oh, it's full moon, so I tend to feel this way towards full moon, but I didn't feel it coming. I didn't. Usually it lasts a little bit, you know, it happens a little bit before, and then the full moon, and then a little bit after. But this time I just kind of I kind of missed the fact that it was full moon, and I realized like, oh yeah, okay, and now it makes perfect sense. I usually can feel it, and maybe that's what kind of prompted me to check. Really should know when full moon is. What kind of witch am I? So, so I kind of missed that. And so that was interesting. And but that's another factor as well. There is there are a lot of these subtle little factors that influence our mood and the way we see the world. It's crazy, really. And today I woke up, and I'm very sensitive to the moods of, just when I wake up. The first thing that I think when I wake up, the way I feel just when I wake up. And that's, of course, that there's so many things. There are so many things that influence that. It's very hard to keep track. And it's very, for some people, for most of us, I think it is quite hard to even sense these subtle changes and to be aware of this subtle changes in every given time, and these shifts and kind of differences. We tend to wake up, and a lot of us has some kind of spiritual routine or something that we do. I mean, a lot of people who do have it in the morning, it tends to be one of these times of the day, which of course helps to check in and kind of acknowledge this mood. But for those who don't, and it's, we just tend to wake up and first thing coffee, and then you're just probably carried away by some immediate tasks, or by something that needs our attention and our kind of waking consciousness, and there isn't really much time in between that we spend in between, or kind of trying to check in and trying to realize and what kind of mood are we in today. And it also made me think that why is different sometimes. Why you wake up and one day is a good day, another day is a shitty day, and then everything just goes bad from then on. But there is nothing. For example, I wake up, I'm like, oh, okay, so I had a better sleep or worse sleep, or I remember my dreams or I don't, or I had a nightmare, or I had pleasant dreams, or I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm anticipating something pleasant today, or something unpleasant, or maybe there's a noise outside, or maybe the weather isn't to my liking, or maybe I ate something bad yesterday, or maybe I had a drink yesterday, or there's just so much. If I wake up with someone, or without anyone, or with who, or all these things just create this very complex structure of a very subtle mood, which is so difficult to grasp. It's interesting. And then when I was feeling like that yesterday, and very inspired and very full of energy and kind of this fire in me, then I was wondering, what can I do to summon this mood? What can I do to make myself feel like that whenever I need to, whenever I want to, whenever I feel like I don't have enough of that feeling, or whenever I doubt, or whenever I feel really down? What can I do? Maybe you have. Maybe you know what I'm talking about, and you had these feelings and you found a way to summon it. If you did, then tell me. I have some ways that I deal with this kind of subtle moods, but it's too no, it's too difficult. I'm not going to talk about. No, it's just very. It's as subtle as these feelings are. So it really takes. It's basically what I'm trying to do always, to learn these things and to attempt to explain these things the way I see them, the way I see my human experience, the way I, you know, what it feels like, what it's like inside my world, you know, from here there. What is it like? So it's not from the lack of desire or will to try to express these things. It's just that I am it every second, or at least I try. Yes, the subtlety of feelings. There was something more perhaps I wanted to say. Oh yes, the similar thing goes with inspiration, feeling inspired. Today I woke up and I did not feel inspired, but I sat down to writing as I often do, and I was, I didn't like what I was writing. I was just kind of going through motions and typing words rather than writing, and hoping that will warm up some mystical muscle inside me to kind of to produce something better. And then it did, and then it happened, not as gradually and straightforward, and it just hit me with something else, and I started writing things that actually felt genuine and real, and like they're bigger than me, like they're not just some. I'm not saying that was like some kind of super channeled received writing here, but you have a feeling when things become more than just about you, and then they're better, they're good. so I couldn't really, it wasn't that mechanical that I could just know what to do for this to make for this to happen, but I knew that I had to go through routines, through motions, through certain kind of controlled action to for the other things to occur. And then these other things do not feel like they come straight from my self, my ego self, kind of. But I would gladly take credit for them. So yeah. So I'm not gonna. I don't think this is any kind of. It is still me. It is still us. It is many of us that live in me as well. Anyway, so what was I saying? So I don't say too much here now. Subtlety of feelings, interesting. I'm gonna move on maybe to some other things that I wanted to talk about, but that in a second. I need a break. Take care.